Hello everyone and welcome back to Fliks Picks, your streamlined Overwatch League analysis and predictions channel. There's no need to mess around with an intro, you know exactly why you're here. Game 1, we will see the Houston Outlaws taking on the Shanghai Dragons. They will face off on Kings Row, Hanamura, Lijiang Tower and Watchpoint Gibraltar. As you can see, the maps aren't looking great for Shanghai. Houston going 6-3 to Shanghai's 2-6 on Kings Row. 4-3 record for Houston on Hanamura to Shanghai's 0 wins, 1 tie, and 5 losses. Lijiang Tower, bit average for both teams. Houston with a 4-7 record and Shanghai with a 0-8. And finally, Watchpoint Gibraltar, where Houston comfortably have a 7-1 record to Shanghai's 1-5. If we end up in Nepal, Houston have double the wins as losses, 6-3, and Shanghai are yet to claim the map with a 0-10 record. The stats for this stage show Houston averaging per game 5.99 kills and 5.59 deaths, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of 0.4. Shanghai are averaging per game 3.92 kills and 6.42 deaths, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of -2.5. When these teams have met before, it has been Houston walking away with 2 4-0 victories. As for each team's last 9 games, Houston have won 4, whereas Shanghai have won none. Externally speaking, I mentioned in an earlier video that the Dragons have been without an interpreter for their half Korean, half Chinese team. So communication has been an issue for them this stage, but not anymore as a new interpreter started with the team earlier this week. It will be interesting to see how much their team will improve now that that dynamic has been addressed. As for Houston, where did you come from and where did you go? To say their performance last week was a disappointment would be an understatement. I sat in awe watching them crumble, and I just struggled to make sense of it. Last week, they were sitting on the highest kill-death average of 2.81. Now, they're sitting on a 0.4. So to come out strong in week 1 and underperform so poorly in week 2 really makes this job hard when the consistency is that flaky. Now, they know they have the mechanical skills and strategies because they blitzed week 1. So I hope for their sake they get their act together and come back strong. The community is calling 88-12 in favour of Houston, and I'll back that pick 75-25. Houston underperformed last week, but given the calibre of their competition, they were severely punished for that. No offence to the Dragons, but if Houston underperforms again this week, I think they're going to find it easier to stop the bleeding, regroup, and start winning some maps. Game 2, we will see the Florida Mayhem against the Seoul Dynasty. They will fight it out on Blizzard World, Hanamura, Oasis, and Dorado. Looking at the map history, we can see Florida winless on Blizzard World, whereas Seoul have 3 wins, 1 tie, and 3 losses on the map. Hanamura has seen both teams lose 5 times, with Florida winning twice and drawing once, whereas Seoul have won 3 times. Oasis shows a staggering defeat to Florida, who have a 1-8 record compared to Seoul's 7-4 record. And finally, Dorado, where both teams have won 3 times, but Florida has lost 5 times to Seoul's 3 times. If we go to Game 5, both teams have lost 7 times on Nepal, but Florida have only won 4 times compared to Seoul's 6 times. The team stats for Stage 4 show Florida averaging 5.53 kills per game and 8.31 deaths per game, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of -2.78, which is the lowest KD ratio in this stage. Seoul averages per game 4.21 kills and 6.15 deaths, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of -1.94. In their previous meetings, it has been Seoul who has walked away with the 2 wins. As for their last 9 games, both Florida and Seoul have only won 2 of the last 9. Externally, not much to talk about. Both of these teams are struggling this stage. Seoul looks to be a bit of a mess right now. It feels like their morale is low, and they are running out of energy now that we're heading towards the end of the season. Florida is slowly looking stronger, but it seems like they're still trying to figure out how they want to play as a team. Lately, they've been playing around Sire Player on a sniper role to varying success. The problem with that, though, is that if Sire Player is shut down or killed, then the team is in a bit of trouble, which is basically what happened to them last week against the Valiant. That being said, the community is thinking 79-21 to Seoul. I too think Seoul will take this game, backing 60-40. As long as Sire player is up and the tanks make space for him, it could mean that Seoul collapses, but we know what Fleta is capable of, and with Miro back, Seoul's tanks should be in a good position to take a lot of damage and create opportunities. Could be a close one or a blowout, but I think Seoul can take it. Our final game of the day will see the Boston Uprising against the San Francisco Shock. This will be Fliks series to Overwatch for the day. They will fight it out on Kings Row, Hanamura, Lijiang Tower, and Watch Point Gibraltar. Looking at the map stats, we can see that Boston is dead even on Kings Row with a 4-4, while the Shock have a 2-3 record. Hanamura looks rough for Boston, who are winless compared to San Francisco's 4-2 record. Lijiang Tower sees Boston all tied up 6-6, and San Francisco has also lost 6 times but only won twice. Finally, Watch Point Gibraltar, another map that looks rough for Boston with a 1-6 record, whereas San Francisco have a respectable 4-3 record. Should we see these two on Nepal, Boston are 4-7 on this map while San Francisco are 5-7. The team stats for Stage 4 show Boston averaging per game 4.8 kills and 6.67 deaths, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of -1.87. San Francisco are averaging per game 6.43 kills and 5.68 deaths, giving them a team average kill-death ratio of 0.75. When these two teams have met in the past, they each have a W to their name, with both series going the distance to a Game 5. As for their last 9 games, Boston have won 4, whereas the Shock have won 5. Externally speaking, this is going to be a bit of a grudge match, as Krusty's new team, the Shock, take on his old team, the Uprising. Since his departure, Boston have lost all of their games, whereas the Shock have seen a sudden improvement. The fight that I'm looking forward to the most is between Sinatra and Striker. Both of these guys are amazing DPS players, and more specifically, they are amazing Tracer players. Their battles, should Tracer get played, will be very entertaining one for us here at home. This series should be very interesting, and there should be a level of emotion coming into the fight, as both teams are going to want to prove something to the other. The community believes Boston will take this series 63-37, and I'm going to have to disagree and back the Shock 70-30. For me, the Shock have been playing smoother and more confidently of late. The maps benefit them, and I also think Krusty will have some helpful insider information from his time as Boston's head coach to help prepare for the game. I'm expecting there to be a lot of intense team fights. Boston might take Lijiang Tower, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking it will be the Shock with the W. And that will be it for day 3, guys. To quickly recap, Fliks picks are the Houston Outlaws, the Seoul Dynasty, and the San Francisco Shock. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you think the day is going to play out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And we have one more day to cover for week 3, so I hope to see you there.
Relatively high altitude. Oh, that is sick. As you see, it's going to be Flooded using that rocket barrage. Toby uses the Valkyrie. It'll be a Deadeye that comes out. Logix takes out Toby during Valkyrie. Vizipe using the Transcendence. Logix just popping off here on the McCree.